I started my business when I was living in Bali and being location independent, being able to work from anywhere was my biggest driving force back then. And it still is. Of course, I also care about different things like helping people, help other people, making a bigger impact. But that freedom to work from anywhere, to really live a life on my own terms, that is driving me on. Family brought me back to Germany and a little pandemic as well. But my mother, she just died after a long disease. She had ALS. It was a terrible time. Very, very sad, obviously, but also a relief. So I don't really want to get into that here right now, but I'm so grateful that I'm my own boss, especially at a time like this. And that I was able to spend time with her in her last days without having to ask for a vacation, without having to have meetings with a boss. And also right now that I'm able to take time for myself to reflect and to recover from this stressful period. So I'm recording this episode right now. It's early morning here. I'm in the north of Germany. And I'm just parked here at a little parking spot, like a private little field that they opened up for campers. Looking at a farm here. There's some cows grazing. It's beautiful and really healing, right? Just being outside, being in nature. So this is what I want to do the next days. I will drive to Denmark today. And I'm so looking forward to long walks at the beach, just being outside in nature and healing. And I'm taking my business with me, of course. So I still have meetings. I still have things to do. And today in this episode, I want to talk about how I set up my business, what systems and tools I use that allow me to travel and work and still make a good living. So you might not want to travel in a campervan or travel at all, and that's totally fine. But maybe you have small kids at home and you're struggling to find a balance between working on your business and taking care of your family. Or you're just struggling to find a balance, no matter what, which of course is a different situation. But the same strategies that I'm using could help you as well. At least that's what I'm hoping. So let's dive in. Hey there, welcome to the Blissful Biz podcast. I'm your host, Susanne Reiche, here to help yoga and wellness entrepreneurs build a thriving online business. If you're ready to make a bigger impact and earn money online, you are in the right place. Each week you learn about websites, digital products, social media strategies, and what's working now to build your online business. And now let's get started. The first thing that's really important, actually, no matter if you're traveling or not, but especially when you're traveling or when you don't have a lot of time for your business, is to plan ahead. Actually, I think it can be beneficial and can make you a better entrepreneur, more productive and more successful faster when you need to prioritize, when you only have a limited amount of time. And so you really need to plan ahead and prioritize and decide what needs to get done first. Especially when we're just starting out as entrepreneurs, very, very often we spend way too much time on single tasks because that's the only thing we have for free is our time. So you might spend 2 hours creating a reel or re-recording something, or writing a blog post and then editing and rewriting and changing things. And before you know it takes you 8 hours or something to set it up. When you don't have that time, or you don't want to spend that much time on a task, you get it done a lot faster. And I promise in most cases, you can get so much done in a lot less time. So the first thing really is to plan ahead. I talked about this before. I use Asana. It's a free project management software. It's Asana, like the yoga asana. So you can find it on asana.com, sign up for a free plan. It's amazing. And that's where I plan all my projects, all my tasks, and my week. So, especially when I'm traveling, it's really important that I don't just put a million things on my to-do list. And then I realize, oh yeah, but I've been driving for 5 hours that day. Of course I wasn't able, and I didn't finish everything that I wanted to get done that day. So, I plan ahead. So when I know I'm driving, or when I know I want to visit a national park and go hiking or something like that, I plan that in my schedule. And, it doesn't matter if you're traveling or not, even also when you have a family and okay, that day you have to, actually have a doctor's appointment. You have to drive your kids there and there. So, you only have, 4 hours to work that day. So, you can't put the amount of work on your to-do list that would need 8 hours to finish. So if you do that, it's just going to be so frustrating because you're never going to be able to finish it all. And it's not a good feeling. I mean, it will happen, you're not going to be able to finish all the things on your to-do list all the time. But you can get better at that, over time in planning, in really being realistic at what is actually possible to get done. So that's really the first step. I normally do that every Sunday afternoon. I just sit down. I look at the week ahead. I look at what do I want to accomplish? What are my goals for that week? How do I want to feel that week? It's not only about business goals. It's also what exciting things can I do? What can I do that's going to feed my soul? So I look at those things as well. How can I socialize? All the things really, what is my plan for the next week? Then I look at everything that I want to accomplish in my business. And here it's really important to prioritize tasks that move your business forward. So I like to identify 3 tasks for the week that I want to get done no matter what. And of course, we always have tasks that need to get done. And I wouldn't put them on the top of my list, bookkeeping or doing your taxes or answering emails. So those things you still need to get done, and they are on my to-do list. And, so I put them on my calendar as well. But they're not one of my 3 most important tasks. So those tasks are really things that move my business forward and that hopefully also going to make me revenue, right? So help me make, more money. So money making activities. It could be setting up a workshop, updating a sales funnel, preparing a flash sale, or sometimes also things like updating lessons for my program. So they're not money making immediately, but of course they're going to help my students get better results and improve the quality of my programs. So that hopefully will mean that I can sell more of it in the future, right? So it doesn't always have to be money making immediately. It can also be a really important thing that you want to do that's important for your business in the long term. 3 things. And then, of course, you have more tasks, all those other little things that you just put around those 3 main tasks. But really try to identify the 3 most important projects or tasks that you want to accomplish in the following week. So even when I'm traveling, I still have that. Okay, when it's a week where I'm really maybe it's not like a full-time week, right? Where I have like a normal work week. It's more like, okay, I'm just going to work as little as possible because I'm like doing a lot of traveling, like driving from Spain to Germany, which is like, crazy amount of traveling. And then, obviously I just say, okay, that week, I'm just trying to move everything, reschedule everything that I don't have to get done in those days. And I just focus on the things that I can't reschedule that are really important, like calls with my students, like the weekly Q&A calls or coaching calls or answering emails, things like that, right? So that's also what I mean by planning ahead. Right now, I think I work probably only like 5 to 6 hours a day on average. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's less, but I try to get like 2 to 3 hours of work done in the morning. So I'm traveling with my puppy, Luna. She's used to being quiet in the morning, so she's very sleepy in the morning. So, I wake up normally before her. I have a coffee, I meditate, and then we go for a walk, and then I start working, and she has her post-breakfast nap, until she gently starts nudging me. Come on, let's go out, let's go on an adventure. Or until I say, okay, maybe I just get like 1.5 hours done in the mornings, and then I'm driving somewhere else. But when I'm not driving, I'm just like working for 2.5 to 3 hours. Then it's around time for another walk with her. So normally we do like a really long walk around lunchtime. So between 12 and 1 p.m., for example. And I have something to eat. And then in the afternoon, it's either we go for a hike, so that might be longer than a normal walk when I'm traveling. I'm driving somewhere, that might be possible as well. I have to do things like shopping or filling up water or things like that. And then I try to get like a second work session in. And sometimes that happens later in the day. And sometimes that's like, sometimes it's like, okay, instead of watching Netflix, I'm going to spend another hour or 90 minutes in front of my computer in the evenings. And if that means that I really had a really beautiful afternoon at the beach or going for a hike, that's okay. That's worth it for me, right? So, I have to find like my little blocks. So when I'm working, and that could apply for you as well. Like when you have another job or you have kids, try to find like little blocks of time in your days where you're going to be able to focus on work. So we want to find periods where we can be really focused and productive. And actually 60 to 90 minutes is perfect. Very few people, sometimes it's hard to really focus and concentrate for like 120 minutes or longer. So, I think there are studies that say that it's not possible to work more than 5 or 6 hours a day productively. And I think that's true, really. So like when I was working in advertising, I was working crazy hours. It was like like every day was like 12 hours or something. 12-hour days were totally normal. But then there were so many meetings, and then you had a chat with colleagues, and then, I wasn't smoking, so I didn't take any breaks for that. But, there was a lot of time where I definitely wasn't really focused or in the flow or working on a single task. And now since I'm working for myself, since I'm working alone, that's different because, I don't have those empty meetings, I don't meet colleagues for a coffee or something. I don't gossip. when I sit down in front of my computer, I want to be really productive and I want to be really focused. So I really try to focus on one task at the time, get that done, and then move on to the next task. That also means that I'm not checking my emails all the time. So, or I'll answer them immediately. Normally I do that like once or twice a day. So I might check them more often, but I don't get back to people immediately. And so I just try to start my day, especially in the morning session, with the most important task first. Like today, I'm recording the podcast because that has to go out there to my editor so it can go live next week. So so that's okay, this is important right now because there's a schedule behind it. So I want to get that done. And I also feel, very often just more inspired in the morning. So, I like to do those creative tasks first too. So that was step number 1 and 2, plan ahead and then prioritize tasks that move your business forward. Strategy number 3 that really helps me, run my business is that I set up funnels for sales and lead generation. So if you're not familiar with that, a funnel is basically a system that you set up that means you get people to subscribe to your email list every day or people to buy one of your offers every day. It can be something super simple. A funnel could be just a button on your homepage, that brings people to your Zoom classes, right? But it can also be a little bit more complex, you have a freebie and then people sign up for it, then they get a confirmation email. And in that email, you also invite them to your upcoming workshop. That would be a sales funnel when you sell that workshop there, right? So, it's pretty straightforward actually. So a lot of people are, funnel, complicated, I can't do that. But it's pretty straightforward. And, so I have a few funnels that mean that I get sales every day and I have people that apply for my email list, sign up for my email list or apply for my programs every single day. And that's blog posts that get found on Google, that are forms on my website, that are, what else? Pinterest is a system that I use so where people find me every day and then they just that looks interesting, that freebie, they sign up for it. And also things when people sign up for my freebie, for example, I have an online course starter kit that you can sign up for. You'll find it at susannereicher.com/starter kit. It's a step-by-step guide how to create and launch your first online course. And, part of that, it's a PDF document. Part of that PDF is also steps to work with me. Okay, if you want to really work with me, sign up for the Blissful Incubator. This is what it's about. And then people can go to that page where they find all the information about that program and then they can apply for that program. I get the, application. And and then I just have set it up so that when I say, I could really help that person, I would love to work with her, it's one click, I click accepted, and then it happens all automatically that they're added to a sequence in my email marketing provider and get a confirmation email and then a few follow-up emails, a link to the page where they find all the information about the program with a timer and those things. That's a funnel. So that's a little bit of a more elaborate sales funnel, right? But you need to have those things in place. You need to have funnels, so you can't do all those things manually. If I would have to send those emails manually to every single person and, that would take me probably hours each day. So, this is where an automated funnel is so helpful. Okay. So that's number 3, set up funnels for sales and lead generation. And also lead generation, that's so important for your business because you really want to always grow your email list. You always want to have people when they find you, you have to try to get them to get on your email list. Don't just focus on social media alone, because you have no control over your social media followers. You have no way to necessarily get in touch with them. Thanks to the algorithm, it's always only a very small percentage of your followers who actually see what you're posting. So when you have an email newsletter, a lot more people will actually see what you want to tell them. So lead generation, really, really important. What's also important, I think I talked about that. So what else do I have here on my list is to be flexible with your schedule. Don't beat yourself up when things don't go as planned. I had to learn this. So I have a very strong work ethic. I've always been a really, really hard worker. And I definitely subscribe to that hustle culture. You have to work a lot. Otherwise, you're never going to be successful. You basically have to kill yourself for your job. And, you have to make everybody happy and get everything done. And otherwise, you're a bad person. Something like that is going on in the back of my head, which of course is crazy, right? So, and I've been like that for the longest time, all the time when I was working in advertising. I mean, my clients, they loved me. They loved working with me because they knew that I was super reliable and just got things done for them. And, it was always when we miss that deadline, something terrible will happen. It was all those totally ridiculous deadlines, that campaign picture has to go up there, that a website update has to go live on that date, and nothing really would happen, but they always made us feel I don't know, children would die in Africa when we missed that deadline. So we had to work nights and weekends just to not miss that deadline. And I don't want to live like that anymore. And I started my business. I became my own boss to be able to work with my schedule and on my own terms. And that means that when I'm not feeling well, I want to be able to take the afternoon off. Or when I have my period, or when I'm there's this most amazing national park and I want to go on a hike because only on Wednesday afternoon, the weather is really nice and then it's supposed to start raining again. I'm going to take that afternoon off to go on that hike, right? And then I might work on the weekend, and that works for me, right? So because I travel by myself, I don't have kids and a husband who only are available at the weekend. So you might not have that flexibility, and that's fine too. But still, right? Listen to your body and see where you can be flexible with your schedule. Sometimes that might also mean, moving things around. So sometimes when I'm just feeling a little bit down, or maybe have a little bit of a headache, or it's just one of those days and I don't feel doing a creative job, writing the copy for a sales page. I don't feel inspired, right? So I might just switch tasks and do something that doesn't really require a lot of brain work. I don't know, preparing things for my accountant. So just to get things done, some routine tasks. And then I feel good because I can tick them off from my to-do list, and, and I freed up some time, maybe later in the week, to focus on the really important tasks. So that flexibility, I think, is really, really important because, you're probably the same. You started your own business, because you want more freedom and you want to be able to work on your own terms and to schedule things. And that doesn't mean that you only follow your joy and you only do things that you enjoy and that you love doing, and everything else is I don't want to do that. Right. So, that's a different topic. I feel it's where all those mindset gremlins start showing up, when we shy away from working on things that we are just not comfortable with, like selling or showing up live or, like setting up tech things. Those things that we probably aren't comfortable with because we don't know them, right? So you probably are really good at what you've already learned doing, like what you trained in. So that's probably and then you probably enjoy creating content or lessons where you share what you're good at, and selling things and stuff like that is something that you haven't really practiced a lot. So that's more uncomfortable. That doesn't mean that it's not important. So that's where planning ahead and prioritizing your task comes in, and it's really important because you need to put those money-making tasks first. Otherwise, you're never going to grow your business. It's not enough to just focus on, oh yeah, I'm just creating content and I'm amazing and I can really help people and then people will find me. No, you need to focus on learning how to sell, how to market yourself, how to create a strong brand. You need to focus on those things as well. But within that, you want to be flexible. Okay. And the last thing that I wanted to share that allows me to run my business is to use smart tools like Dropbox and backups. So especially when you're on the road, you never want to lose your computer and then you lose everything, right? So obviously this could also happen at home. But yeah, it's a higher chance that something like this, something bad could happen when you're on the road or traveling. So it could get stolen or break down or whatever. So what I use Dropbox to back up all my files. I'm using Smart Sync there. Before I go on a long trip, I make sure that I downloaded all the important files to my computer hard drive as well, so I don't have to rely on an internet connection to access a file that I want to work on, because I've been there and that's really oh my God, right? So but still I try to use Dropbox and the Smart Sync, so everything's backed up in the cloud. So when I lose my computer, I have access to everything. I have access to my emails in Gmail, to all my files, my project management tool. Everything is in the cloud or on the website. And so I could just start and work and run my business on a different computer, with no issues. And this is really important. You really don't want to save all your important files on your desktop where they're not backed or something. And then poof, so something happens and everything is gone. And backups are so important. Other things are important too, like a good password manager. Don't use the same password everywhere. Right? So this is the worst mistake that you can make. Use different passwords for different platforms and a password manager to help you remember them all, that with a really safe master password. Make sure that everything is always updated. You have all the security updates. You're always on the latest version of your firmware, things like that. And be really careful with using open Wi-Fi networks. So I use a VPN when I'm on an open Wi-Fi network that protects me additionally, so I don't get hacked or a virus or something, because that can happen. It actually happened to my sister, I think, when she was traveling at an airport. Airport Wi-Fi networks apparently are super unsecure. So, and her mobile phone was hacked and we all got funny emails and things. So, yes, you don't want that to happen to you, because, yes, obviously because that could really hurt your business. And it doesn't matter if you're traveling or not. Those systems to have a really safe backup system set up and to have security systems in place. That's really, really important. Okay, so I hope that was inspiring and helpful for you, no matter if you're traveling in a camper van or traveling as a digital nomad, or just like running your business from home. And we all need those systems and tools and strategies to stay sane as entrepreneurs. So I'm going to drive on to Denmark now. Just maybe to go to a supermarket first and spend a few days at the beach. Then I'm back in Hamburg for a little while, and then I'm probably going to go back to the south for a really long time for the winter. I hope you're having an amazing week. Enjoy the rest of the summer wherever you are, and I talk to you again next week. Until then, bye for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Blissful Biz podcast. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes. This would mean the world to me. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast to never miss a new episode. To learn more about how to work with me one-on-one, my courses and membership, or to get instant access to freebies, workshops, and more, go to susannereiker.com right now. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time.